Have you ever walked into a room in your own home and felt a little overwhelmed, not by the beauty of it, but by the sheer volume of stuff? The boxes in the attic you haven't opened in years, the overflowing cupboards, the garage that's become a storage unit instead of a place for your car. It's a feeling many of us know well, this quiet weight that accumulates over a lifetime. It's not just about neatness, it's about the energy it saps from us, the decisions it forces, the unspoken obligation to things we no longer even use or love. And if we're honest, there's a quiet worry in the back of our minds what happens to all this when we're no longer here to manage it. The thought of leaving that burden to our children or grandchildren, to sort through a lifetime of our treasures and trinkets, can be truly painful. It feels like an unfinished task, a heavy legacy we'd rather not pass on. But what if there was a way to lighten that load? Not just for them, but for you right now. A way to feel truly free and unburdened. To enjoy your golden years with a clearer mind and a lighter spirit. Well, there is a secret to living lighter and feeling profoundly free, especially as we approach and move past that wonderful milestone of 70. In this video, we're going to explore 6 specific things we can consciously choose to declutter before we hit 70. These aren't just about physical possessions. They're about freeing up space in your life, your mind, and your heart. So, settle in. Because by the end of this, you'll have a clear path to a lighter, freer you. And make sure you watch right to the very end, because I have something that will truly surprise you. Now, let's dive into the first area where we can really start to feel lighter. And that's often the most visible, our physical surroundings. We're talking about the physical clutter that accumulates in our homes. Think about it: every item we own, whether it's a sentimental keepsake, a piece of clothing we haven't worn in years, or a gadget we no longer use, takes up space, but it also takes up mental energy. It demands attention, storage, cleaning, and maintenance. Imagine walking into a room where everything has a purpose, where every object brings you joy or serves a clear function. That's the goal here. This isn't about becoming a minimalist overnight, or throwing out cherished memories. It's about making conscious choices. Start small. Pick one area, perhaps a drawer, a shelf, or a single cupboard. Don't overwhelm yourself. Open that drawer. Take everything out. And as you pick up each item, ask yourself a simple question. Does this bring me joy? Or is it truly useful to me right now? If the answer is no to both, consider letting it go. It could be given to someone who needs it, donated to a charity, or recycled. The key is to release the guilt often associated with letting go. You're not disrespecting the item or the person who gave it to you. You're honoring yourself by creating space. Think about clothing. How many outfits do we have that we haven't worn in years? Perhaps because they no longer fit or don't suit our current lifestyle. Those clothes are taking up valuable space that could be used for items that truly make you feel good and confident. Consider the 1-year rule. If you haven't worn it in a year, and it's not a special occasion item, it's probably time to let it go. The same applies to books, old magazines, decor items, and even kitchen gadgets. Do you really need that bread maker you used once in 2005? Maybe it's time for it to find a new home. The liberation you feel when you open a cupboard and see only what you truly need, or walk into a room that feels spacious and calm, is incredible. It reduces stress, makes cleaning easier, and even helps clear your mind. It's like a quiet exhale for your entire living space. And remember, this is a journey, not a sprint. Small, consistent steps will lead to significant results. Don't feel pressured to tackle your entire house in one weekend. Just a drawer a week, a shelf a month, and you'll be amazed at the progress. Each item you release is a little burst of freedom. Now, moving from the tangible items in our homes to something a little less visible but equally burdensome: our digital clutter. In today's world, we've accumulated mountains of information, photos, emails, and files on our devices. Just like physical clutter, digital clutter can slow us down, create stress, and make it hard to find what we actually need. Think about your email inbox. Is it overflowing with hundreds, perhaps thousands, of unread messages, newsletters you never open, and spam? Each one of those digital bits of information is vying for your attention, even subconsciously. The same goes for your phone. How many apps do you have that you never use? How many blurry photos of your cat's tail are clogging up your gallery? What about old documents, downloads, and forgotten files on your computer? Decluttering your digital life can be just as liberating as decluttering your physical space. Start with your email. Unsubscribe from newsletters you no longer read. Delete old emails you don't need for records. Consider creating a few simple folders for important messages you do need to keep, like financial statements or family correspondence. You don't need to achieve inbox zero overnight, but aiming to get rid of 50 or 100 emails a day can make a huge difference surprisingly quickly. Then, tackle your phone. Go through your apps and delete any you haven't used in months. Many apps track your location, send notifications, and just generally consume resources. Fewer apps mean less distraction and a faster phone. For photos, consider dedicating an hour or two to sorting through them. Delete duplicates, blurry shots, and anything you don't truly want to keep. Cloud storage is wonderful for preserving memories, but it's even better when those memories are curated, not just dumped. Organize your remaining photos into albums by year or event. Imagine easily finding that perfect photo from your grandchild's birthday without scrolling through thousands of unrelated images. Your computer is next. Go through your downloads folder and delete anything you no longer need. Organize your documents into clear, labeled folders. Consider backing up important files to an external hard drive or a cloud service. Then deleting old versions from your computer to free up space and speed. This digital tidiness isn't just about making your devices run smoother. It's about reducing mental noise. When you know where everything is, when your digital spaces are calm and organized, it frees up mental bandwidth for what truly matters. It's like having a well-organized office, even if that office is just inside your phone. It brings a sense of calm and control to a part of our lives that often feels overwhelming and out of control. It really does make a difference to how you feel daily. Now that we've talked about what's visible and digital, let's delve into something a bit more internal, yet equally heavy emotional clutter. This is perhaps one of the most profound areas where we can declutter and truly feel free. What exactly is emotional clutter? It's the unresolved feelings, the old resentments, the grudges we've held on to, sometimes for decades. It's the unspoken words, the lingering bitterness, the wounds that haven't quite healed, just like a stack of old magazines in the corner. These emotions take up valuable space in our hearts and minds, draining our energy and preventing us from fully experiencing joy in the present moment. Think about it. Holding onto a grudge is like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. It doesn't hurt the person you're holding the grudge against. It only weighs you down. Maybe it's an old family dispute, a disagreement with a friend that was never resolved, or a perceived slight from years ago. Whatever it is, that emotional residue can manifest as stress, anxiety, even physical tension. Forgiving, and I mean truly forgiving, isn't about condoning what happened or forgetting the past. It's about releasing yourself from the burden of carrying that negativity. It's about choosing your peace over being right or holding on to old pain. How do you start decluttering emotional baggage? It begins with awareness. Identify what's bothering you. Is there someone you need to forgive? Even if it's just in your own heart. Is there an apology you need to offer? Even if you think you were in the right. Sometimes, just acknowledging these feelings, writing them down, or talking them through with a trusted friend or family member can be incredibly powerful. You don't have to confront the other person if that's not possible or safe. The forgiveness is for you. It's an internal release. Another aspect of emotional clutter can be guilt or regret over past decisions. We all make mistakes. We all have things we wish we'd done differently. But dwelling on them only paralyzes us in the present. Learn from them. Acknowledge the lessons. And then let them go. You did the best you could with the information and understanding you had at the time. Embrace self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. This isn't about denying your past, but about integrating it without letting it define or diminish your present joy. Releasing these emotional weights allows you to step into your 70s and beyond with a lightness of being, a clear heart, and an open mind ready to embrace new experiences. It's truly a profound form of freedom. Next, we'll move from our internal emotional landscape to another often overlooked area of clutter: our time. This might sound a bit abstract, but just as physical items can clutter our homes, unnecessary commitments and inefficient habits can clutter our schedules and steal our precious time. As we get older, time often feels more valuable than ever. We want to spend it doing things that bring us joy, connecting with loved ones, and pursuing passions. But often, we find our calendars filled with obligations that don't truly serve us, or we feel constantly rushed, leaving little room for spontaneous delight or quiet reflection. Think about your weekly schedule. Are you overcommitted? Do you find yourself saying yes to things out of habit, or a sense of obligation, rather than genuine desire? This time clutter can manifest as constantly feeling busy but not productive, or feeling drained at the end of the day because you've spent it on things that don't energize you. It's about the endless meetings, the volunteer work that has become a chore, the social engagements that feel more like burdens than blessings. Decluttering your time means setting boundaries and learning to say no, kindly but firmly. It means prioritizing what truly matters to you. Take a moment to reflect on your week. What activities genuinely bring you joy, fulfillment, or purpose? What activities leave you feeling depleted or resentful? It might be difficult at first, especially if you're someone who has always been a yes person. But remember that saying no to one thing means saying yes to something else that aligns better with your values and energy. Consider auditing your commitments. Are there any groups or committees you're part of that no longer spark your interest or contribute meaningfully to your life? Is there a standing obligation that you dread each week? It's okay to gracefully step back. Your time is a precious resource, and as you approach 70, it becomes even more so. This isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. It's about creating space for rest, for hobbies, for genuine connection, and for simply being. Another aspect of time clutter is inefficiency. Are you spending too much time on tasks that could be streamlined, delegated, or even eliminated? Could you combine errands? Are you getting caught in endless phone calls that could be short emails? Simplifying your routines and being more mindful of how you allocate your hours can free up significant chunks of time. Imagine having more afternoons free for a walk in the park, more evenings for reading, or simply more moments to sit quietly and enjoy a cup of tea without feeling the pressure of the next thing. Decluttering your time means intentionally designing a life that feels spacious, fulfilling, and truly yours, rather than one dictated by endless obligations. It's about living in alignment with your deepest desires and letting go of the shoulds. Just as we declutter our time, it's equally important to examine where our money is going and identify any financial clutter. This isn't about your overall financial health or investment strategies, but rather those small, often overlooked monetary drains that accumulate over time and quietly chip away at your resources. Think about those monthly subscriptions you signed up for years ago and rarely use. Maybe it's a streaming service you no longer watch, a gym membership you haven't used since before the pandemic, or an app subscription that seemed like a good idea at the time. These small amounts, often $10 or $20 here and there, can add up to a significant sum over a year. It's like having tiny leaks in a bucket. Individually, they seem insignificant, but together they can empty it surprisingly fast. Beyond subscriptions, consider old bank accounts you rarely use, or credit cards you keep open, just in case, but which might be accumulating annual fees or tempting you to spend. What about old loyalty cards for stores you no longer frequent, or unused gift cards tucked away in a drawer? Each of these represents a little piece of financial clutter. They either cost you money directly, or they represent unutilized value that could be put to better use. Decluttering your financial life brings a wonderful sense of control and clarity. Start by making a list of all your recurring monthly payments. Go through your bank statements for the last few months. You might be surprised at what you find. Identify any subscriptions you're paying for that you no longer use or genuinely value. A quick phone call or a few clicks online can often cancel these. This isn't just about saving money. It's about aligning your spending with your current priorities and values. Why pay for something you don't use when that money could be saved, used for a special treat, or donated to a cause you care deeply about next? Look at those old bank accounts or credit cards. If an account isn't serving a purpose, consider closing it. If a credit card has an annual fee and you don't use it, or you have too many, perhaps it's time to consolidate or cancel some. Be sure to check how closing accounts might impact your credit score. But often, simplifying your financial landscape outweighs any minor, temporary impact. The goal is to streamline, simplify, and gain a clearer picture of where your money is flowing. When your finances are tidier, you feel more secure, less stressed, and more empowered to make conscious decisions about your wealth. It's about ensuring your money works for you, rather than quietly slipping away. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, let's talk about relationship clutter. This might sound harsh, but just as we accumulate physical items, we can also accumulate relationships that no longer serve us, or worse, drain our energy and well-being. These aren't necessarily about cutting off all ties, but about honestly assessing the quality of our connections and making conscious choices about where we invest our precious emotional energy. A truly surprising truth is that some connections, while perhaps long-standing, can actually hinder our peace and growth. Relationship clutter can manifest in several ways. It might be a friendship that has become entirely one-sided, where you're always the listener or the giver, and rarely receive support in return. It could be family dynamics that consistently leave you feeling emotionally drained, criticized, or unvalued. It could be acquaintances you feel obligated to spend time with, even though you find their company unfulfilling or even negative. These relationships, if they consistently leave you feeling worse rather than better, are a form of clutter that weighs heavily on your spirit. Decluttering relationship means setting healthy boundaries. This doesn't always mean cutting people out of your life entirely. Sometimes, it means limiting contact, choosing specific settings for interaction, or simply reducing the frequency of engagements. For example, if a certain family member always brings up old grievances, you might decide to meet them in a public place where conversations tend to be lighter, or limit your phone calls to a set duration. It means learning to say no to invitations that feel like an obligation rather than a joy. It's also about prioritizing those relationships that genuinely uplift you, that nourish your soul, and that bring you joy. Spend more time with people who make you laugh, who support your dreams, and who respect you for who you are. As we age, our time becomes increasingly precious, and who we choose to spend it with becomes paramount. This isn't about being unkind. It's about self-preservation and protecting your peace. It's about curating a social circle that truly enhances your life, rather than detracts from it. And sometimes, it means having difficult conversations, or simply drifting apart from connections that no longer align with your path. This might be the hardest decluttering of all. But the freedom and renewed energy it brings are immeasurable. It allows you to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections with those who truly matter and truly value you. So, we've covered 6 powerful areas where you can declutter your life before you turn 70, setting yourself up for a lighter, freer, and more joyful existence. We started with the visible, tackling the physical clutter in your home, room by room, drawer by drawer, finding the joy in releasing what no longer serves you. Then we moved to the often invisible but equally burdensome digital clutter, from overflowing email inboxes to cluttered phone galleries, bringing calm and efficiency to your digital world. We delved into the profound work of releasing emotional clutter, letting go of old resentments, grudges, and regrets that weigh on your heart, embracing forgiveness and self-compassion to truly lighten your spirit. We then looked at how to reclaim your most precious resource by decluttering your time, learning to say no to draining obligations and making space for what truly nourishes your soul. And we explored the quiet drains of financial clutter, showing how to identify and eliminate unused subscriptions and dormant accounts, giving you a clearer picture and more control over your money. Finally, we tackled the sensitive but crucial area of relationship clutter, empowering you to cultivate connections that uplift and inspire you, and to set healthy boundaries with those that don't. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Even small steps in any of these areas can make a profound difference to your health and happiness. Imagine the peace of mind that comes with less stuff, less digital noise, fewer emotional burdens, more intentional time, clearer finances, and truly supportive relationships. This is your journey towards living a life that feels authentic, spacious, and filled with purpose. I truly hope these insights have resonated with you and inspired you to take action. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you already started decluttering in any of these areas? What has been the most challenging or the most liberating for you? Share your tips and stories in the comments below. Your experiences can truly help others in our wonderful community. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, a like. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who could benefit from this message. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical advice and empowering insights to help you live your best life at every age. Now, for that surprise I promised you at the beginning of this video. You might think that decluttering is all about getting rid of things, about emptying your spaces. But the biggest surprise, the real secret, is this decluttering isn't just about removing. It's about making space for more. It's about creating room for more joy, more peace, more meaningful connections, more spontaneous adventures, and more of what truly brings you alive. When you clear out the old, you naturally invite in the new. It's about filling your life not with more stuff, but with more life. It's about stepping into your future unburdened, vibrant, and ready for all the amazing experiences yet to come. Live your best life, unburdened and truly free, at every age.